Guys, we're back with what will be part 2 of the Mcculloch project. So, this one goes out to my biggest fan. You know who you are. I don't have to say. Alright, you said that the audience wants to see it all. So, you're going to see it all. I'm going to try to be committed. I'm going to try to film everything. I'm going to talk about a lot as I go here. Not just the problems we're having, but I want to be able to show the audience, teach the audience the things I know as I go along, for those of the audience who might be breezing through and might have a problem, and maybe it's not exactly my problem. Any information I can share that will help, I'm going to share as I go. Kind of simple tips and just the general workings of everything. So, here we are, guys, and the first thing we're going to do, remember, you asked for this, biggest fan. Alright, we're going to take the cover off here, and we're going to get in there, and we're going to get into those points, because I've been setting those points, and I can't seem to get spark or fire. I don't know what's going on. I think it might be the condenser. We're going to find out. Or try to find out. So, anyway, guys, I'm going to take just 1, 2, 3. There should be a fourth, but it's actually broke off down there. And it was not me that broke it off. Must have been a grandpa. We'll blame it on grandpa. So, we're going to take these 3 bolts out. And I'm just going to take the cover off. That's it. That's all I'm going to do. Then we're going to I'll start filming again, and this is going to take dedication. I'm going to be honest here. Alright, I will be back. Alright, guys, if you ever wondered what the inside of a 150 Mcculloch looks like, now you know. So, let me just talk for a minute here. Let me slip this under there just to give it a little bit of a prop. Alright, so first of all, this is the flywheel, obviously, alright? And this is the coil, which has the wire running through the spark plug. Okay. You can actually gap your coil to the flywheel. I don't know what the exact specs is on that, but it should be, I think it should be almost touching the flywheel, but not quite. Just a smidge, okay? Gap. Because what happens here is there is magnets on your flywheel. See that? In the interest of showing you. Wait a minute. Hang on. There they are. Okay. Looking at things through the camera, everything's different. That's a magnet. Okay? That comes around, and I'm not an expert on how all of this works together, but that magnet comes around, and that makes some electrical something with that coil, alright, with the magnet. So, one thing you got to do, I'm actually going to do this now. I did this the other day, but I want to take this coil back off in case I've got the gap spacing wrong here. I'm going to take these screws out, that one down there. I'm going to show you something that you can do if you don't have spark that I would say 60% of the time, sometimes, will cure it, okay? So, let me just, maybe I can even do it on camera. I don't know how good am I? Because I hate to start, stop and start the video like constantly and all that. Okay, that's the wrong, is that the wrong size? Yeah, that's the wrong size. Okay. I'm going to try it with this screwdriver. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to have to stop the video and start again in another clip. Yeah, okay. Alright, guys. It looks like I've got to hunt down a socket that fits that. I thought that was the one, but... Okay, guys, I'll be right back. I'm just going to take these 2 bolts out. That's it. Okay, I'm being dedicated now. Okay, guys. Here's what's going down. Got the coil off, alright? Now something I want to show you guys. First of all, this is your ground wire. You really should make sure that's clean. I didn't the other day, but you clean that up a little bit. All right. Now these holes here in the top of the coil where the bulb goes through. All right. These are U-shaped. If you notice, if I could get the camera to focus, let me try zooming in here. That might make a difference. I don't know. Sometimes. Come on. There we go. See how they're U-shaped? That is so that you can put the coil up here to the flywheel, and you can slide it ahead or back, and, you know, whatever, when you put the bolts in to tighten it down to get your gap. Alright. Now those magnets contact on this, this, and this. Right there. See those? This camera will not make... Let me shut the light out. That might be the light that's messing up what I got going on here. Oh, wow, okay, cool. Alright, I'm still figuring this out, guys. Actually had the flash off. I think that's why it was... Come on, focus. Alright. There it kind of is. But anyway, those three surfaces have to be clean, alright? Because they have to be able to make clean contact with the magnets, and the magnets have to be clean too. Sometimes you'll get like surface rust or something on your magnets there, and that will mess everything up. You gotta make sure all that is clean. And yeah, I'm not 100%. Also the posts here that it screws into. Focus. There we go. Those two posts have to be clean as well, because the bottom of the coil, and the bottom of the coil has to be clean too, which actually might be part of the problem there for me, it looks like, because the bottom of the coil contacts on those posts too. So anyway, clean. Gotta have that coil super clean. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna clean the coil, and I'm gonna gap it to the flywheel. And I might have to go look up what the specs is there on that as to how far it's supposed to be out, because I did have this off the other day, and I've lost spark now, so I don't know if it's just that my condenser's weak and it's not, you know, I'm not getting full spark enough when I gap to the points the correct way to bridge the gap. I don't know. It could be a lot of different things, but just in case, I'm going to clean this up really good. I'm going to put it on, and I'm going to gap it correctly. Okay, guys? So I will be back. Alright. Hang in there. Okay, guys, I'm back. So I cleaned up the coil as best as I could. You know, we got how many years, I don't know, of sawdust here. And now, I looked up online. This is called, first of all, this is what's called a feeler gauge, for those of you who don't know. And it said online that it should be set 11 thousandths from the flywheel. So hang on here, I'm looking, trying to find the 11 thousandths. This gets interesting. Alright, that's 10 thousandths. Come on, where are you? 11. You gotta be right there. That's 10. There we are. Alright, so I've got the 11 thousandths here. I'm having troubles, difficulties, one-handed. Yeah, let's see, 11 thousandths. Of course, we got light glare bouncing now. But anyway, that's 11 thousandths. So, I don't know if I can do this. To be completely honest here, because it's going to get kind of interesting. But okay, that is my feeler gauge right there. I turned it so the flywheel's magnets are facing what will be the coil. Okay. So what we want to do is, I don't want to get that wire caught. Oh, I'm not even pointing at what I'm doing here. Like I say, this gets interesting. Alright, so basically the gist of what I'm going to do here I'm going to keep that feeler gauge out so that that's in the middle on that metal contact there, right in the middle of the coil that I showed you on the end. I'm going to keep that right there so that that gaps that out. And then I'm going to start the screws in, and up here the bolts, and slide the coil around until that feels about right to me, like that feeler gauge isn't completely. And then that's what I'm going to do. Okay, because the magnets right now, the way I've got set up, are going to suck the coil into the flywheel. So that's how I'm going to gap it. So I want to be able to do this on camera, but I don't have enough hands and I don't have a tripod adapter for the phone yet. So I'm just going to do it, and then I'll be back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I have the coil back on and gapped. Okay. I did put the cover, I got cheated here, put the cover back on and pulled it over a couple times to see if we had spark yet. We do not, so it wasn't that. I didn't figure it probably was, but you know, I figured I'd check it out. Might as well, right? So you guys get to see how to gap a coil today. I mean, that's pretty exciting. So, okay, now we got to get the flywheel off, right? So the only thing that holds the flywheel on here is this nut. That's funny to anybody who's ever taken a flywheel off, because usually what happens is you take the nut off and then you beat and thrash to get the flywheel off, because there's a, well, I'll show you when we get in there, but there's a key in there that holds it after that. Plus you get dirt and grime in there, and it can be a bugger, especially on this saw. But I've had this off like 4 times now, so it's not too bad. The first time I did use, where is it? This isn't the one. I have several different sizes. I think this is the smaller size. But this is a 3-jaw puller, for those who haven't seen those. And if you notice, the camera will ever focus. Focus. There we go. You see that little divot in the end of the shaft there? That's the crankshaft, right? Look at the end of this. It's tapered. That sits in there. Okay. Then you swing your jaws out, you hook them on the edges of the flywheel, and then you start turning this bolt in here on the end, and that slowly starts pulling out, right? So if that's stuck, and then sometimes you'll get it, you don't want to tighten it up too hard, because this is only an aluminum flywheel. You can break it pretty easy, but you get it out so far, okay, turned in so far or whatever, so it's pulling out so far, and then you give this a tonk right on the end of it with a hammer, that'll pop right off. So at this point, I've had it off so many times. The last couple times I've been able to just give it a tunk on the top, a tunk on the bottom with a hammer, and have it pull off. But that first time, boys, I didn't know if I was ever going to get that flywheel off. She's on there pretty hard. So now this is interesting, okay, because you got to take this nut off, but the flywheel turns, right? And there's several ways you can do this. There's my way, the only way I've ever known. And the other day, Buckin' Billy Ray, you're going to hear a lot about Buckin' Billy, because he's been teaching me a lot. He had another way of doing it that's a lot better, if you don't mind the extra steps. You can take the case off the other side of the saw, get onto the clutch, get onto the nut on the clutch on that side, and that holds the flywheel, right? Because the shaft goes through, and that clutch is on the same shaft as the flywheel. So you can hold it that way, with a wrench on that side, and then loosen the nut off on this side. But I never really thought about that, and never really realized you could do that. I mean, I didn't think much of it. So here's the way I've always done it, and you have to be very, very careful. Okay. I use my T-handle saw tool here. Most of my saws it doesn't work on, because the nuts are all different on these old ones. Like, some of them have 5/8. It's just, you know. But now they've standardized all saws pretty much. So the spark plug is one size, and the nuts on the clutch cover or the other. But anyway, so I take this, okay, I slip it down in. You got to find a good place on the flywheel. You don't want to slip it in just anywhere. Yeah, slip it in like that, right in between them teeth, right? Get the. It's hard to show you with one hand here, but you get the idea of what I'm showing you, right? You slip that in there, okay, so it's hooked on both of them fins on the flywheel. Then you just hang on to the end of it and get a ratchet on there and you start turning. But you got to use your head because these fins are only aluminum, alright? And they will break. So if it's coming really hard, you don't want to do that. But for me, I've had this off so many times that the nut's not stuck or nothing. I can get it off pretty fast, pretty easy that way. But I definitely wouldn't recommend this way. But it does work. I definitely would say after seeing Bucking the other day, you do it the other way. Go over there and get a wrench on it, come back over here and spin your nut off. So anyway, I'm gonna do it the way I showed you here. I'm gonna pull this flywheel off, and then we're gonna talk about everything else, the key and the crankshaft and the points and all that. So, alright guys, I'm gonna just pop this off and then we'll be back again. Okay guys, I got the nut all loosened up. Just gonna spin that off. Drop out the mag tray over there. Okay, these are your dogs. That's funny, I was telling you about this the other day, right? And I may, honestly, take the case off the Solo and show you everything I was talking to you about the other day because I feel kind of guilty. But these are your dogs, alright? So you take... This is your case with your starter rope. Those dogs grab right onto this. See, you got the notch there in the middle. They grab onto that, and when you pull that over, okay, that grabs the dogs grab that, turns your flywheel, spins the motor over. That's the traditional setup, okay. You got these little dogs, and they got a little spring on them. Focus. There we go. Get that little spring on them. And that just hooks on a fin on the flywheel, right? So you can adjust your tension on these. It's where you hook them up. But that's what they do anyway. That's the dogs. Okay? Now if everything goes according to plan, I can get out my rubber mallet here. Hang on to the phone. Give that a tunk on the top. Sometimes you gotta roll the saw up. Give it a tunk on the bottom, and it's just gonna make a fool of me on camera. There it goes. Did you see that? Come right off. Okay, now slide the saw back. Alright, so that's your back of your flywheel. Now, if you notice something here, you got a notch right there, right in the hole in the flywheel. Okay, that's the back side, but you see that groove, right? If the camera will ever focus. This thing's driving me nuts. Anyway, you can see the groove. Look at it. Alright? Look up here on your crankshaft. Focus. Don't help that I'm shaky, so. There it is. See the groove in the crankshaft? Now this, you can't lose this. This just fell out down here, but that's your key, okay? There it is. This is like a half moon key, they call it, but that sits right. Oh, ships. That sits. That was ships. Ships, by the way, like the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. All right. Okay. You can thank the maniac scientist for that one. All right. So that key sits right in there, and then you have to line up the flywheel when you put it on, and you have to get the key in that groove, and that keeps it. It almost makes the flywheel one with the crankshaft, so that if it loosens up, it can't spin independently. All right. So you cannot lose that key. I mean, you can get new flywheel keys, but depending on what you got. But still, you just got to keep track of it. All right, so we're in. Okay, that is your condenser right there, that bad boy, and it carries electrical current. Warning: this is a disclaimer. Okay, so just know that. All right, and it screws in right there, underneath all that sawdust. Where are you? I lose you. There you are. Okay. There's a little screw in there underneath all that sawdust. The wire goes to, and then see what happens is, hang on, let me take the cover off the points. Hopefully I can do this on camera. I really don't want to restart the camera on you here again. I may have to kind of film up here while I get the turn on it. Nope. Okay, it ain't gonna come. I'll get my ratchet. Oh, I took my socket off. Where's my socket? That ain't the socket, is it? Yeah, yes it is. Okay. Alright. Okay, there we go. Alright, am I set for business here? I'm set for business. Alright, good stuff. Good stuff. I'm gonna be blocking everything I'm doing here. I'm trying, guys. Okay. There she goes. Let's see if I can start with the screwdriver now. This is very interesting one-handed, by the way. It gets very interesting. I'm trying to hold the camera on what I'm doing while I'm doing it. It's not easy, alright? Let's see if I can get in there. Oh yeah. I can turn that right up now. Like I said, I've had all this apart quite a few different times. Something's goofy. I'm pretty sure it's the condenser, but... Okay. So that sits on that. Hold that little cover on. Okay. So I'm just gonna... Oh, there it is. Take that cover off. Okay. And you got a little felt-y kind of gasket thing in here that I accidentally tore last time. I've just been laying it in. Alright. Okay. Get that stuff out of the... Okay. Now if I can get the camera to focus. 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 Yes, please. Pretty please. Pretty please. There we go. Alright. So what you see here is, I'd like to get in closer if it'll still focus. Okay. This right here is your points. See how that opens? That has a contact. This is a contact. Watch it now. Opens. Okay. When you turn this, I can get it. You turn your crankshaft. Watch them. Opens. Closes. Opens. Closes. Alright. That's how your points work. Okay? So, what happens here is, these open and close, and every time they open, it sparks. Alright? That spark is sent through. I don't know how it all works. I don't really work on things with points and condensers. Okay? To be honest with you, I don't own much. Well, until now. Now, almost every saw I have is a point and condenser setup. But anyway, those spark. Something to do with the condenser. I don't know. And then the coil. Okay? Those are your threes that give you spark. So, I mean, obviously the condenser stores energy. I mean, I know that, but I'm just not sure how it all works. But any hoots, so I guess the condenser must feed through the energy to the points to spark to send to the coil. That would be my assumption. Okay, we'll go with that. Welcome back to another episode of Codger's Assumptions. Alright, but we're in there. That's the point. So what you got to do is, and honestly I did not realize this the other day, because like I say, I don't really own anything with points and condenser until now. You have to actually gap this when it's wide open. Alright, so you got to turn that until that is right at its openest point. Because it's points, right? Alright, and then you get out that feeler gauge. What'd I do with it? Where is it? I lost you. Feeler gauge? Feeler? Ah, right there. No stress. Okay. Now, factory specs for this saw is 18 thousandths. Alright. So, that's what we're going to do here. Whenever I find the 18 thousandths. This feeler gauge. It's so hard to find stuff on it. One-handed and everything. Biggest fan. Okay, this is all for you. I hope you're watching. Alright. I mean, there's a lot I can tell you and show you guys if I can maintain the patience to do it all one-handed on camera. Like I say, I'll be getting an adapter for the tripod here soon, and then I'll be like 21st century. Okay, alright, 18 thousandths. Here we go. We're rocking now. So you take that, slip it in there in the gap. Of course, it's hard to, there you go, see? And you want to get that up tight. And you loosen this screw. Right there, that slot screw. And you can slide this back and forth. Let me see if I can get that loosened up, show you. I'm definitely going to have to do the actual gapping off camera. I've already gapped this. Like I say, I'm pretty much 100% sure that it needs a condenser. But, you know. Okay. So, you loosen that up. And then you can move it. See how much the gap is now? Can you see that? Then I can slide it right up closed. Slide it right out apart. So you just slip that feeler gauge in there, between those. And then you move that back and forth until that's tight, really tight on that feeler gauge, so you can just barely pull the feeler gauge out. That's where you want it. And on this saw, that's 18 thousandths. And then, you know, that's that. And then the points will open and close, and you'll either get sparky, you won't. So I'm hoping I don't need a coil. But I'm pretty sure it's got to be that little bugger right there, a condenser. So that is how we go about that procedure. So I hope that's showed somebody something and been interesting for somebody. So anyway, that's what it's all about, guys. So I told you the other day I got a carb kit coming. And whenever that carb kit gets here, we will put a carb kit and put the carb back on. Now, let me talk to you guys about something here. While I got the camera rolling, I might as well just keep it rolling. Lee said to check the reeds on this reed valves, okay? Now, I don't have any reed valves out right now, so I can show you what they are. But it's a little plastic pyramid piece, okay? And it's got holes bored through it, right? And over those holes are little metal flappers. They're just paper thin, sheet metal flappers. That lets the gas come through into the cylinder, from what I understand. There again, reed valves aren't something that are on the newer equipment, so it's all kind of fuzzy. But that's what I gather. And on like my XL12 and Super XL, the reed valve just sits right on here, right in the opening that goes down into the cylinder, and then the carburetor bolts right onto it. On this, it's not there. So, I'm thinking that maybe the reed valves are underneath. So I took the two screws out here. Where are you? There you are. I took them out of here. I was going to lift this cover off. Well, then I realized you got to take the screws out of the handle. Well, that's all well and great. But this one is completely broke off. Okay, bad sign. This one is stuck to the point where it could also be completely broke off before it ever came out. So I'm praying that it is not the reed valves, because if it's the reed valves, I don't know how I'm going to get down there. So we're just going to trust that the reed valves have nothing to do with the way it's running. Obviously it has nothing to do with the spark problem, because that's a whole gas thing, but Lee thought it might have been running rough because maybe the reed valves, because sometimes if it sits, the reed valves will get dirt or something underneath them, and it'll just stick down to the plastic, right? They won't open like they're supposed to, let the proper amount of fuel in. But it seemed to be getting fuel pretty good before. It wasn't running great, right, at its best. So it's obviously the spark thing, and I'm pretty sure it's the condenser. But that is the for now update on the Mcculloch. I don't know if I can get a condenser like that at the saw shop. We'll see. If I end up going down for for a carburetor kit for the Dolmar or something, I might stop in and check on that condenser too. But yeah, so that's been a little I don't know what you want to call it. Look into the way that works, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this. Biggest fan. This was for you. I'm gonna start doing this. As boring as it seems to me to be. I don't know. I don't know if it'll be boring to you guys. I hope not. It's all for the viewers. So we'll see what happens. But let me know. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you like that blow-by-blow description. So, also, I haven't actually done a carburetor on camera. So, I think we'll crack into the Dolmar carburetor, which I haven't done yet, right? And we will, we'll clean it. And I'm planning on getting a carburetor kit for it. But, yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I for sure will get the Dolmar carburetor on camera. The cleaning of it. I don't know if I'll get the gaskets being put back in or not. But, I mean, if you see me take it apart, you just reverse the order and it goes back together, right? Hit the rewind button now. So, anyway, I'll do that on camera. That'll give you guys a little look at that. I mean, you know, most people, you know, if you're a saw guy, you've been into that stuff. But for those of you who haven't, the Codger is going to show you how he does it. All right. Now, anything I show you here, disclaimer, I'm not going to tell you is the right way. I'm just going to tell you it's the way I do it. Okay. So you make up your own way, whatever works for you. But this is how I go about it. And looking around me at the carcasses laying around me. I'm not talking about, like, you know, that sounded way worse than it was. No, I mean, like, wait, where are they? Come on, chainsaws, where are ya? Chainsaws. Here, oh, there's one. Okay. Looking around at the chainsaw carcasses laying around me, okay. It looks like we're going to have plenty of projects. Plenty. So there will be videos spiraling at you all day, every day. Well, I don't know about that, but at least every couple days, hopefully. If I can keep up the schedule. If I don't get working too much here. But, yeah, so it's been kind of a bad saw week, like I was saying in the, I think I was saying in the Dolmar video. The last saw I had that ran good only runs with throttle now. Does not want to idle. So, yeah, I don't know. You haven't seen that saw yet, but you'll see it soon. So, that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching the update on the Mcculloch. And we will be back soon. Thank you for watching. You guys are great. And we'll see you in the next video.